I'm off to the commercial gym.
Wait, wouldn't it be more convenient, time and money saving to have a home gym? Hey, all these bills are past due.
I'll pay them when we're done building the gym.
We're gonna lose the house.
We can sleep here. Hey guys, Gluck here, and today we're gonna go over a topic I see time and time again on channels just like mine, on social media, and on a lot of home gym websites. And that is that home gyms are the end all be all for everybody. And do I think they're great? Yeah, I mean, here I am. I have a home gym. I do this channel, but I don't think that they're perfect for everybody in every situation. So in this video, we're gonna focus on two main things. We're gonna do a cost breakdown of a home gym versus a commercial gym. And we're not gonna compare my entire gym because there's nothing normal about the person who owns this gym or the amount of money that he might have spent on it. So instead, we're gonna focus on the essential items. And for a lot of those essential items, I got some pretty good deals on them. So that's our cost breakdown versus that commercial gym over time. Now, we're also gonna talk about the benefits, the pros and cons of a home gym versus a commercial gym, because believe it or not, a home gym isn't always all glory. Sometimes you're just sitting in your basement talking to yourself or talking to a camera. Now, for a lot of you guys, you're not gonna buy used. It might not work for your situation, and it doesn't always work out anyway. So if you're not interested in a cost analysis like that first one, where I break it down on deals that you're never gonna get the same deal as me, I will give a quick breakdown at the end of buying some of those essential items online or wherever to see, does that work as well if you're still buying new. So is a home gym going to solve all your problems? Is it gonna get you in shape and give you more energy and save you time, and it's really convenient and it's gonna save your marriage and save the world? I'm not so sure. So let's get into it. The first thing we're gonna do as we run those clips of my essential items and their cost, and we'll run the tally down in the corner, is we need to determine what does a commercial gym cost and what does a home gym cost. So a home gym, the cost is all over the place. And I've done videos on budget gym builds for under $1,000 and for under $2,500. And while I do think you can build a gym for under $1,000, I did a video on it. I think if you did that, you would probably spend more as you went, as you upgrade over time. So we're gonna use $2,500 as our base budget. And what does a commercial gym cost? Well, my last two commercial gyms cost $30 a month and $40 a month. We're not talking Planet Fitness here, but the national average is closer to $60 a month. So we're gonna use $50 a month to keep the numbers more accurate and more realistic to me, or $600 a year. So the first thing people do is they take that $600 and they multiply it out by 10 years, saying it's gonna cost you $6,000 to join a commercial gym for 10 years. And they say, okay, well, you just saved money. Your gym's $2,500, your commercial gym is $6,000, you saved money, right? Well, I would argue if you're anything like me, a human being, you're probably gonna buy more stuff as you go over the course of 10 years. If you buy good stuff, if you use my recommendations, it will last that long. It'll probably last longer, but you're still probably gonna buy stuff even though you have a lot. There's always more. A home gym is never done. Could you save money? Yeah, but you have to look at who you are as a person and be realistic to yourself. You know your spending habits. You know your goals in the gym. Are you gonna want a second bar? That stuff adds up and adds up quick. And if you're getting a nice piece of cardio equipment, forget it. It costs a ton of money. You also have to factor in that there's risk in a home gym. If I go to a commercial gym and I pay for the entire year and I never show up, I pretty much forfeited that $600, right? Well, if I build a home gym for $2,000 and I never use it, there's a big loss there too. And let's be honest, a lot of us, me included, we don't like to be wrong. So we'll just tell people that we still use our home gym, we have it. So I never really lost anything, but I'm kind of just hoarding it and holding on to it and not admitting my mistake that I just spent $2,000. Or maybe you're tough enough to go out there and sell your stuff, right? You know, you want to barter, you go on Facebook, you go on Craigslist, you're going to get some of that money back, but you're not getting all $2,000 back. And you can't use COVID, a once in a lifetime event, as an argument that, well, one time I sold plates for twice what they were worth. Yeah, but there's a million people out there selling their home gym equipment. I bought a ton of stuff off people who didn't want their stuff anymore, and I didn't pay nearly what it was probably worth. So again, you have to be honest with yourself. And also, there's some things you just can't recreate at a home gym. I can't take classes. I can't do CrossFit type stuff with a huge group and people pushing me at my home gym. There's no instructor, right? I mean, unless it's just you yelling at yourself. That's a little weird, but I guess you could pull that off. Anyway, that brings us up to our next section. Whoa, before we move on, let's get through that awkward moment where I ask you to subscribe. And if you don't, I will cry. But not on camera. That's weird. But it might get me some views. As we talk about the pros and cons of a home versus a commercial gym, I will run clips of the rest of my equipment with costs so you can see what you're really getting yourself into. Now, the first thing I always hear is a home gym is great because it's really convenient. And while I do think it can be convenient and that can be a positive, I also find that to be a pretty big negative because it's much easier to just push your workout off to a different time or another day. I mean, it's right there. I'll get to it after I mow the lawn, right? Okay, well, what about the fact that there's no commute? It saves you time. And yeah, the drive over is pretty short, but does it save me time? Because of that convenience factor, and I know it's always here, I find myself to be less focused and dedicated in my workouts. They just take longer because I know it's always there. Okay, but at least you don't have to share equipment, right? And that's true. I don't have to wait for the guy curling in the squat rack, but I didn't fault him for that. I wanted to be like him. But what about privacy? There's nobody there to get in your way. You can do whatever you want. And I speak from experience when I say squatting naked is awesome, but the people I work out with, I'm not sure they like it too much. And, I typically work out with the garage doors open, and I think my neighbors are starting to talk. But they're not big enough to say anything to me. And I'm telling you, working out alone can be very difficult. And let's be honest, you're probably working out alone because you're squatting naked because you can. And you can't fault people for not wanting to work out with you when you're naked. They can't compete with all that booty you're bringing to the gym. And if you're at a commercial gym and you're saying, well, I work out alone there, you're never really alone at a commercial gym. There's always hot guys, girls that you could be checking out. But really, there's a psychological factor there. When there's other people, they pump you up a little bit. Okay, so the biggest pro, and I'll give you this one, is that you own it. So you can say you're gonna pass it down from generation to generation. And believe me, every time I buy an overpriced piece of gym equipment, that's exactly what I tell Winnie. I don't really know if it works, but I say it again and again. Now let's talk about the cons of a home gym. Now I know I made a lot of those pros sound like cons, and some of that's me being a little bit silly, but there are two sides to every coin, and everybody's trying to sell you something. My affiliate links. Sorry, there was something in my throat. So I'm just trying to be a little bit honest with you here. Now, there is a psychological aspect to a home gym. Ignore the fact that you might be working out alone. You still have to worry about the quality of your lighting, poor air quality or airflow. And I'm telling you, when it's 90 degrees or 30 degrees, it sucks working out. You're also gonna have a limited amount of equipment. You're never gonna compete with a commercial gym. And did you know you have to maintain and clean all this stuff? And it sucks, and nobody helps you. You see these bars back here? It's not to get a cool shot for the video, it's to remind me to brush and oil them after I'm done filming. And at home, there's a lot of distractions. It's very difficult to focus when you have so many projects and other things right there that are gonna get in your way. All that being said, you have to evaluate if you want that home gym. Look at me, I have it, I love it. I'm not going back, but I'm just saying it might not be for everybody. Now let's go into our final cost breakdown where I give you a quick example, new build, to see if it's something you can do. For this example build, I'll give you one option per essential piece of equipment, and it's gonna bring us to around $2,500 to your door. Now, if you want a more detailed breakdown, look at my how to build a home gym playlist where I have the $1,000 home build, the $2,500 gym build, my top 7 essential pieces of equipment. I go into detail on this stuff time and time again. And these are items I recommend in those videos. So for the first one, let's start with your barbell, and I would go with my Fringe Sport Wonder Bar. At around $260 to $290, you can get a bushing or bearing variant and a lot of options for men or women. It has a high capacity, average knurling, and overall is a pretty good bar. For my power rack, I go with the Titan T3 series. It's basically a knockoff of this Rogue rack right here. It's gonna run you $500 to $600, and I've spent a lot of time in this thing. It's a 2x3 rack with a ton of options for accessories, especially when you realize that you can probably leverage some of Rogue's accessories into it as well. I own a ton of Titan attachments for my rack, and I find them to be much better value than I thought they would be. For a flat bench, though, I'd probably go adjustable. I'll give you one example of that. If you're not gonna go for an FB 5000, which I own, which is about $225 shipped, I would go to the Titan flat bench. It's $135, it's got a 1,000-pound capacity, and again is a really good value for the price. If you don't wanna buy both a flat bench and an adjustable bench, and if I had to buy just one, I would 100% get the adjustable bench. But if you wanna see all the options, you can look at my FB 5000 video and my AB 5000 video, because in those videos, I go over all the comparable options in that price range for flat and adjustable benches. Now, in this price range, if I had to pick, I would pick the AB 3100. It has 6 back positions and 3 seat positions, a 1,000-pound capacity, wheels, and for about $300 to your door, it is the best, in my opinion, adjustable bench in that range. From there, let's look at cast iron plates, and I'd go straight to Titan Fitness for these. You can get 245 pounds of plates for about $430 to your door. They have a 2% weight tolerance, though I have seen some outside of that spec, but honestly, pound for pound, for that amount of money, I don't think anybody's gonna compete. From there, I'd look at Fringe Sport for a set of 45-pound bumpers. Their black bumpers are gonna run you about $220 for a set of 45s. There's no shipping, handling, and tax from them, and they all have that steel hook so that the hub doesn't pop out. Honestly, I really enjoy their bumpers. Now we need to look at dumbbells, and believe me, I speak from experience. I don't have my full set. We're not gonna be able to afford fixed dumbbells at this price point, so we're gonna look at adjustables, and I would go take a look at the Bowflex 552. They run from 5 to 52.5 pounds. They're a really good budget option. And at $350, they're a pretty good bargain, though they are kind of always big no matter what weight you're using on them. From there, there's 3 essentials you still need. The first thing is gonna be some collars, and you can just go cheap and go on Amazon for $10 or $12 and get some collars from a company like Clout Fitness. I've got a few of those in the back, and they work. Are they amazing quality? No, but you really need to triple or more your budget for a collar to get a vast performance increase. Then you're gonna need your pull-up bands, and for pull-up bands, I just go straight to Canway. I've had these things for years. They're great. At $30, they work, and if you need 2 sets, like you wanna do banded bench, just buy a second set. Really, I have no complaints about them at that price range. And then everybody says the same thing for flooring. Just go to Tractor Supply, get yourself some 4 feet by 6 feet by 3/4 inch thick rubber horse stall mat. They run about $50 a piece, so it depends on your space, but for the sake of argument, we'll just say you need 4 of them for now for a platform or something to deadlift on and some space. So that brings us to around $2,500, however you did that. Now, I don't know everything, so if you have other opinions on home gyms versus commercial gyms, let me know in the comments, and we can see where we can take this discussion in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.